Hi everyone, it's September 15th and I am once again on an intermittent fast. Probably just a normal 18 to 20 hour fast this time. But I want to mention that the coming few fasts are going to be interesting for me, but I'll probably do very well on them again. But they're interesting in the sense that I'm beginning my 4th season in a fast. And every season has its unusual challenges and flavors to them, right? During the winter time when I was fasting, I had to get through winter holidays where I might have been in a festive mood and I had to come up with a different way to celebrate. During the summer, it was coming out here and having a good time and trying to think about what food do I pair it with, and oh my god, I'm fasting, I can't, and having to find other ways, and finding out that I can still enjoy scenery even when I'm fasting. That's the key point here, right? Every time I fast, I seem to discover more and more activities that are exponentially more enjoyable without having food to distract you, right? I talked about how my electronics, especially my camera, seems to last a lot longer without getting dirty, without needing the lens cleaned, without all sorts of other crap, right, when I'm fasting. And the same has kind of applied to a lot of other things, right? There's a lot less friction between myself and others, right? One of the big problems that I run into on a regular basis is that I go out to a restaurant and I have to bring up my dietary restrictions, which is perfectly okay with me. The problem is that I'll go to a restaurant with somebody else and I might not want to cause a big scene, right? One of my favorite, actually, we can zoom in on that right now. See that Five Guys right there? So Five Guys, they make their fries out of peanut oil on site. So it's one of the purer foods I can find around here. The problem is, ever since COVID, now when you go to Five Guys, they throw a bunch of packs of ketchup into your bag. I don't want them, and I hate wasting food. So I go up to the counter to order. I have to rudely interrupt whoever's at the counter. You know, I don't want this stuff. And I would hate to do that if I were going to lunch with my boss, with a coworker, going on a first date. I hate it. And now that I'm fasting so much, I don't run into it that much, right? It's a lot easier to tell a coworker, hey, I'm fasting at the moment. Maybe we can go out at a different time, right? And then maybe if they say, okay, let's go to Five Guys tomorrow night, I can call Five Guys in ahead of time to let them know that, so I don't have to rudely interrupt in front of my coworker, right? So you can see, just the fact that I'm fasting already lubricates a lot of situations. I don't have to have friction between myself and others. I know it will seem very trivial, but it matters a lot to me. But last year when I went on my first major fast, this was during Lent. Lent was February 25th, if I remember correctly. And I went on a 2.5 day fast, if I remember correctly. And that second day of the fast, I was terrified because that was the first time I was fasting that I actually had to go to work while fasting. And I remember, as I entered the campus at work, I remember thinking, this is it, make or break, right? I'm either going to have a good time at work today and say hello to all the nice perks that come with fasting while working, or I'm going to get fired, right? I've gotten fired over much smaller challenges than trying to fast during a work day. And I remember thinking, this is it, make or break. And as I entered the campus, I said hello and goodbye to the campus at the same time. I distinctly remember that feeling. It wasn't a frightening feeling or anything, but it was, I'm discovering myself, and this is something new that I'm gonna have to see, right? And I go into the campus, and I had to tell a few people that I'm fasting, right? Because food is very integrated into our campus. And to my surprise, nobody really took offense at it. And also to my surprise, I realized I had a great day at work because I wasn't being distracted. I wasn't trying to juggle my eating with my workload. I wasn't trying to juggle all the other things that go around eating. I wasn't having to think about what to eat. I wasn't having to think about dietary restrictions. And that was that. And I had a great day. And every time I go on a fast, especially every time I begin a new season, during my, 2020 is when I really ramped up the resolution to normalize my relationship with food. Every time we turn the season, I seem to discover more of myself, and I'm really excited about this current fast, especially the wildfires. That's not fun, right? Fasting is probably going to help with my immune system to deal with both, well, two things that are hurting our lungs right now, right? The wildfire and the COVID-19, right? So, probably not a bad idea anyhow. But, oh, let me finish that story. So that second day of the fasting for Lent, when I had to go to the office, I distinctly remember how much of a peace I felt lifting over me, because I didn't have to punctuate the day anymore. And my former classmate, he was using the opportunities at Lent to quit smoking. My classmate was trying to quit smoking, and I told him about how free I was. I asked him, did he feel free from smoking? And he hadn't realized it yet. He said, no, he doesn't feel free. He feels cravings all the time. And then later on that day, he told me how free he was because of how he didn't have to go out when it was cold. It was still in the 40s and 50s at the time. But it took him about half a day more than it took me to realize the aspect of freedom. But yesterday, I'm still teaching at Washington Technology University. Yesterday, I had a student who showed up and he was apologizing because he was trying to shove down the last of his dinner while I was getting the slides ready, and he was apologizing to me about how he had all these things to juggle. He had a family member who's at high risk, and he's working on the class, and I can't remember what he said, but he was juggling quite a number of things. And that's when I really felt free. Because yesterday, as I was teaching, I was up to how many hours? 20 hours of fasting. I ended up doing 22. And I'm like, I had to bite my lips because I didn't want to laugh and say about how free I felt, because I didn't want to judge him, because I used to behave just like that. And so I was biting my lips. And I turned my head away because I was kind of smiling. And actually, my roommate happened to walk into the kitchen where I was doing the teaching. It gave me an excuse to put on my mask because I didn't want him to see that I was smiling over that. And but I was, because I realized, oh my God, that's how I used to behave. It looked bad. It punctuated everything that I was trying to do. It really interrupted with the flow of a lot of things. It caused me to, especially if I'm working with my electronics, get food all over them. It was disgusting. It was embarrassing if I had if I had to go to a meeting and my computer keyboard is all full of food debris, right? And so I smiled. Thanks for watching.